Hi, everybody. It's Jay Victoria, the Energy Queen, and I'm going to be telling you today about how feminine energy is BRAT and how it can help you, especially as a woman, have everything that you've ever dreamed of. Okay, so let's get started. Why is feminine energy BRAT? Well, what BRAT is, and Charlie XCX just hosted SNL. She talked a bit more about what BRAT is, and she used the example that Martha Stewart had a documentary that just came out. I kind of want to watch it because she said in it, Martha said that there was a journalist who like really criticized her, but the journalist died, and she was like, and I'm glad. And she was like, and that's Brat. And then she was like, and the journalist actually hadn't died. And on X, Twitter, um, they like said like, hey, I'm not dead actually, and that was Brat. So I was thinking about like how what Brat is and why it seems to not be really going away as a trend. I think it's going to have a lot of longevity because what it is basically is an aspect of feminine energy that we tend to suppress, especially as women. Women are so, taught to be kind to others and almost like mothering to others and to put others ahead of us. And, the niceness can really be a disease for us that we have to overcome in order to find our way to happiness. And there's a lot of stuff going on in the world today where our rights are getting taken away and we're being treated badly. And sort of as a society, we're, allowing men to just be radicalists basically with masculine extremism. That masculine energy is not bad, but it's supposed to support the feminine. That's the real masculine. So if you're ever dealing with a man, by the way, and it doesn't feel supportive, it's not masculine energy, that's negative energy. um, that right there can change your life. And so basically, it's our job as women, if you identify as a woman, um, to set the standard for what you will accept. This is a really important part of your life. And some women are brought up in homes that value feminine energy, others are not. And if you don't have a good relationship with your feminine energy, that's a real growth area for you where your life can get so much better. Um, and you'll sort of know if you need more of that and you need to learn how to love feminine energy and you need to learn how to make it a part of your life. If you're struggling with wealth and with love and a lot of different aspects of your life, even your health, your purpose, I feel like most of the problems women have are just a problem mostly with your feminine energy. I'm going to be honest. It's a really big deal. And therefore, it can heal a lot of things at once for you. So it's like you don't have to actually like fix each individual problem. You can actually get your feminine energy connected and learn how to live in a way that fosters her, and that will create so much more harmony and success, and it will just honestly make you make sense, your life makes sense. And women have been misdiagnosed so many, like the whole hysteria thing, and we've just been very misunderstood because we are energetically, we have different anatomy than any other being. So it's really important for you to understand your feminine. And luckily, I'm a feminine energy activator. I found this out about myself a few years ago. And basically, I'm going to get back to Brad, but I wanted to just give you some insight first that I grew up in a family with four brothers. My mother wasn't even super feminine, I would say. Um, so I really just had my cat. Like, that was like, my cat was a girl, and I was like, I got really had a deep relationship with her because it's like I really didn't have in my immediate home like support for my feminine. And so that kind of created an interesting person, I'm going to be honest. Like, I believe that I am totally equal to men. I don't struggle with that. um I I have like an interesting combination, I think, of masculine and feminine. I was sort of sporty, but I wasn't a tomboy. I loved dresses, and like, so the feminine could never be suppressed in me. But what I found was that I grew up and I didn't feel, there's New York being loud. I grew up and I didn't feel, and I think a lot of women feel this, I didn't feel like I didn't know who I was, and I didn't know why certain parts of my life weren't working. And I noticed the cool girls at my school, I didn't feel like one. they had this quality that I couldn't quite understand, and I didn't know how to get it. And now I know it was feminine energy. And I just thought, well, I just don't have that. And there are different types of girls. And, you either have that or you don't. I guess I don't. And whatever, I'll find my way. And the truth is, it's not being feminine and having your feminine activated. It's not about being a certain way. It's not about dressing a certain way. It's not about wearing makeup. It's not about looking like a Kardashian. It's not about any of those things. I will explain what the ingredients are for feminine energy. And we all have a unique expression, but because we're all so connected as women, at the same time, our expressions often overlap. So, what makes you feel good, what brings out your feminine energy in the physical, like I'm a fluffy girl. I love fluffy, but you might too. So like, it's like we have our unique things that bring our feminine alive, but there's a lot of overlap with other women. So that's why it might seem like, well, everybody does this or everybody does that. Well, no, it's very individual. Okay, so basically, let's get back to BRAT. So BRAT is a really interesting aspect of the feminine that I love that it's coming online, and it's coming online in this very interesting way. I believe Charlie XCX must have channeled this. She's such a cool musical channel, and her music is very like holy to me. Like it really hits, like, it brings you into a different state of energy and being. And she's so talented. I love watching her grow. And this album was called BRAT, if you didn't know. And it sort of became like this phenomenon, this idea. But what it is really is the aspect of the feminine that we often suppress, even if you're spiritual and you're trying to develop your feminine energy. This BRAT part of the feminine spirit in general is actually holy, but that's not something that as humans we totally understand. So I love that she's making it socially acceptable in a really fun way, but it's actually quite spiritual, the concept here, because basically what BRAT is it's just being honest. It's being, she used the word vulnerable, it's being real. And imagine if you took the filter off, like what you say to people as a woman. Just imagine that, even for a day. Imagine like saying what you really think, right? That's BRAT. You probably say a lot of BRAT things. Imagine just doing whatever you wanted without feeling worried about being judged and worried about whether people liked it or liked you. It's like taking that whole thing off. And I think doing that as a human being is a process for you, right? Because you probably haven't been doing that your whole life, but I want you to start noticing the moments where you might be thinking, I would love to say this, and then to know that you do have the freedom to say that. And most of the time, you're not being rude, you're not being cruel, you're not being hurtful to people. The intention behind these kind of sassy things that you want to do or say is actually just to support yourself. That's it, to keep you protected, to tell the truth, to kind of tell people to fuck off if they need to fuck off. Sometimes people need to fuck off. It's on it, like, it's the truth. Sometimes they do. And not to, like, I think that we have to take more responsibility for ourselves, that yes, we can be victims of violence and victims of lots of things perpetrated, often by men, but we have to use our power because we have it, like you can't stay in victim mode. And victim mode actually, as an energy, will zap your wealth. Victim mode, if you feel like a victim of anything, it's very dangerous to your wealth. And so to be an empowered woman, it's very important to put that power back in your hands and realize you don't have control over what anyone does, but you have control over yourself, and you should use that. It's not illegal to speak your mind. It's not illegal to talk back to a man. It's not illegal to be real. You gotta be real with yourself, and you have to really honor what feels right to you and what doesn't. And maybe that's BRAT, but that's a good thing. And I think what people don't realize is that's holy. That is spiritual. That's what God wants you to do. And that's something that really surprised me. So I'm going to explain more about that whole part of the spiritual aspect of this, because I work with energy, I see energy visually, and in my sessions with my clients, I dissolve negative energy with my method, Energy Queen Alchemy, that can instantly erase negative energy. And I compare my work often. I feel like I really resonate with the idea of like a facial, of laundry, of this kind of thing as a beauty treatment, but it's like a soul treatment. It does make you actually like glow. It makes your eyes brighter. And this is like the the glow up from within, truly. If your energy gets brighter, your feminine does get more activated naturally, and you look more like, wow, it's pretty cool. Um, so let's talk about the spiritual part of this. So again, like, this isn't something, I grew up Catholic, but I didn't like, I never would have thought this was real, what I'm about to tell you. Like, basically, through seeing energy, interacting with God, with Jesus, I work with Jesus, or he works through me, with me. I never would have thought that the bradness of the feminine was so holy and so good. I never would have thought that. And what I've seen from looking at things from the energetic perspective, not our perspective, but God's perspective, is that it's very different for it. Like, women actually have exceptions um, that men don't necessarily have. I think a lot of the advice in the Bible was for men, because we're so different. Women are so different. Like, even like the commandments, like thou shalt not steal. God actually showed me a vision one day where it was like, okay, but what if you're a mother and you have kids you need to feed, and because of the way society suppresses you, you don't have money, and you're praying for food, you're praying for money, but then you come across like a cart of oranges or something and it's unattended. Like, does thou shalt not steal apply in that situation, or is that the answer to your prayer? And is money a construct that we make up, basically? Like, couldn't God bless you with a situation? And if you were being too rigid with rules, maybe you would think, I'm evil or I'm bad if I take some oranges. But what if that's God's way of giving something to you? What if God owns everything and he's just giving you something? Like, there's something there. And I was even thinking about the movie Enough with Jennifer Lopez. There's the commandment, thou shalt not kill. But in that movie, her husband becomes abusive. He's trying to kill her. She has to escape. And then she like becomes really strong, and she like, gets really in shape, and it's really cool. And then he finds her and they have this like epic battle. And I think she like eventually kills him, and she doesn't like want to kill him, but like he's gonna kill her and he's trying really hard. So it's like, what do you do in that situation? What is spiritually correct or moral? Well, again, it's like, I think the feminine has we have such a, like, we have an obligation to protect ourselves. We have an obligation not just to protect ourselves, but to thrive and to bring our light into the world. Like, that is holiness. And it might not look like what the world wants from you, but it's like, that's what you are. And that's what brat is. It's being that bratty, whoever you are. And maybe bratty isn't like who we all are, but it's like the idea that the world might see you as a brat because you're being difficult or not what it wants from you. And what it really means is that you're being true to yourself. And that is very much the feminine. And I actually did a whole podcast on this topic called Feminine Exceptions, like spiritual exceptions. So I'm going to link that in the description if you're interested in hearing me talk more about that. But basically, what I'm saying is, like, women, I think, feel too much like we have to be a certain way. And the truth is, like, God, like, loves it when we're like ourselves, because he made us who we are. So if you have a natural reaction to something, and maybe it's sassy or maybe it's this or that, that's you at your holiest. Charlie XCX has, she's expressing holiness. I see a lot of holiness in her energy, and her performances are so soul inspired and just right, in that zone and connected. It's so cool. And especially her performance, Sympathy is a Knife, that she just did on SNL on Saturday. I was like, I haven't seen anybody do that in a long time. Like, I love how real that was and how much she felt it and how much it was an expression. That is spirit, that is holiness. Like, that's so incredible. And that's what God, like, God does that through you. And so, like, we need to update our I think we need to update our vision of what God is and who God is. And God is totally revealing more of himself and his beauty through us and through pop culture and through um you know the modern world that we're in, and through you. And so if you're feeling like you're limited and fearful, like, about expressing yourself, I challenge you and I encourage you to find ways to express yourself anyway, to give yourself permission, to know that the only permission you need is from God, and he made you, so it's okay. What makes you feel feminine? What makes you feel strong? What like gives you energy, and what feels right to you? That's what is right. So let's get into the aspects of the feminine, what they are, and how they will improve your life. Okay, first I want to show you one thing that's really interesting. Um, Feminine energy is actually a really cool spiritual technology. My drawings are Picasso-like, aren't they? So feminine energy basically is a protection that keeps your energy clear. So a lot of people ask me, like, especially like when I get sessions with me and stuff, like, how do I love getting my energy cleared, but how do I keep my energy cleared? The feminine is actually quite an incredible part of that. If your feminine energy is connected, it literally is like a protective bubble around you. And what I've seen this with my eyes. Negative energy tries to get in, and then feminine energy will just like zap it like that. Like, it literally keeps you clear. And it's like an amazing spiritual mechanism that literally protects your energy. And your feminine is, interestingly enough, like a Wi-Fi signal. It's on or off. When it's on, it's easier for you to receive. Feminine energy is receptive. So when your feminine energy is turned on, you can receive more easily. One really important thing that you receive is ideas. And that's the way, as a woman, your feminine bridges or connects with your masculine, because women do have masculine, right? We all have feminine and masculine, but to be productive, to work hard, but to know what to work hard on and when to do certain things, that kind of push from your soul is so key to faster success. Otherwise, you end up putting your masculine first and having like a long to-do list, and instead of like listening to your spirit, your feminine, which is the spiritual part of life, by the way, the masculine is the physical or action based. Your feminine is your spirit, your presence, your intuition. Basically, like, if you put your masculine first as a woman and you hustle, you will shut down your ability to receive, and you'll have to work 10 times harder to get even a little bit, when you could just turn on your feminine and receive from like very little action, because it's going to be at the right time and like a genius idea. Your feminine will give you genius ideas, and she will tell you when to do them. But if she's not turned on, it's basically like when your internet isn't turned on, you can't receive messages, right? Same concept. So, and she keeps your energy clear. Like, it's really incredible. So that's why I think like people like the Kardashians, we're all human. I'm not saying any of these people are perfect. Even Charlie XCX, like, I'm not saying like, wow, they're perfect, but like, they're doing like, they're examples of something interesting about the feminine, in terms of it working, and creating success, creating things that resonate with people. And the Kardashians, interestingly enough, I think why they keep getting richer and they keep somehow being very successful all the time is because they have such feminine energy, and their family really is a place that fosters and appreciates and values feminine energy. And like I said, not all of us grew up in a family like that, but you can see what happens when you do. You can see the level of success. You can see somehow they know what to do when. Taylor Swift is another celebrity who has a lot of feminine energy, which her family must have fostered in her as well. And she's really good at, knowing what to do when, and playing a really smart game, and not like making moves that aren't smart and aren't gonna get her some kind of payback. So yeah, it's a really smart thing to do as a woman, to learn how to turn your feminine energy on, or activate her. And working with me, I am a natural feminine energy activator, and I love working one-on-one with clients long term, like to not only activate your feminine, help you learn how to like you personally, how to create more feminine energy in your life, but also getting clear energy with my sessions is a major part of having your feminine activated. The only reason your feminine is not activated is because of negative energy. That's the only thing that can get in the way. And you being connected to her is such a big deal, because again, it makes you like rich. It makes you able to receive. It makes you able to attract the right person. You're like bringing children into the world that are meant to be here. It's like you being on track, and you putting work out in the world too, and living your purpose. Like you being on track like that is such a threat to negative energy, because it's all so positive. So you got to really like love yourself and be brat, and like do what you want, and just like and take the advice I'm going to give you here. I'm going to tell you about the 4 ingredients that create feminine energy, and how you can start to make some changes. Okay, so there are 4 ingredients that create feminine energy. The first one is presence. Feminine energy is so much about your presence. And when I was talking about how like it doesn't mean you have to be a Kardashian and get your lips filled or whatever, it's basically about what makes you feel present. And a lot of fashion stuff, like the fluffy, this is something you only experience in the present, right? That's why it's feminine. Wow. Wearing lipstick. I just got this new Charlotte Tilbury lipstick. I absolutely love it. And look, so beautiful. It's called Electric Poppy. And I encourage you to find your own shade, because this is a good one though. I like that one. But again, we're all unique, so you should find your own. And again, like that you can only use that and feel that and experience that in the present. Same with earrings. And I've been putting a little curl in my hair recently, and all these things are feminine. They can enhance your feminine, they can make you feel more feminine, they can help turn on your feminine, which gives you all those benefits I talked about. Whew. And yeah, it's like it's not about performing or being performative or imitating Marilyn Monroe. It's about what makes you feel present. What do you enjoy in the present? What makes you feel more present? I even got this like terry cloth, like gorgeous, like jammy t-shirt, and I love it. And having those types of things fosters your feminine energy, strengthens your feminine energy, because they're bringing you back in the present, right? So whatever makes you feel like that, that's important for you to have around you. And I think women oftentimes feel really guilty about investing in things that you just like. But guess what? The second ingredient of feminine energy is pleasure. You should be getting coffees that you just like. You should get pastries, and you should, do things just for fun. And you should have, fun colors in your life, and wear color, and get your nails done. And, not everything involves money. Sometimes it's just like laughing, or like cuddling your kitty or your kitten, like cat. I mean, okay, it sounds a little, you're doing something else, but you could do that too. Like, it's like, you just like, it's about joy. The feminine is so much about joy. And that is something you should value because of all those benefits feminine energy gets you, right? It's not practical, and that's the illusion about feminine energy, is that it's not practical. I don't need to invest in it. I don't need to care about it. I need to hustle and work, and that's all that matters. Well, you can hustle and work, and then you're just going to be not able to receive much. So you're going to have to work harder. Then you're on the hamster wheel. This is what so many women are looking for, I know. And so that's why I'm doing this video, because, like, there's a better way, and this is the better way. All right, let's go to number 3, self-value. This is also so gigantic for the feminine. Oh my God, if you don't have self-value, you can't have feminine energy. That's why BRAT is a feminine, because it's about like doing what you want, saying what makes you feel good, doing what makes you feel good. It's so about self-value, saying I matter. You matter, right? And you matter even though the world might not tell you it wants to hear what you have to say. Well, BRAT, I'm going to do it. And but self-value is so important. Like, you should tell yourself you love yourself every time you look in the mirror. You should do things that are nice for yourself that no one will ever know about, but you should do them. You should, always be thinking about how to be good to yourself, how to discover more about yourself, get to know yourself, how to really understand how you are like a unique, powerful spirit that is so holy and so good and a spark of God. And that's the truth. And I don't care what anyone says, that's the truth. So you need to do that for yourself. You can't wait for the world to do it for you. You can't wait for the love of your life to come and do it for you. You can't wait for anybody to do it at all. You have to start as a choice, and it's going to change your life. And the 4th aspect of the feminine, like, did I cover everything on self-value there? Oh yeah, and boundaries. Like, you have to have boundaries to have self-value. So when people cross your boundaries are basically like, whatever you decide, that's it. You choose them. This is okay, this is not okay. It's your choice, okay? And they can change, but it's you, and you will know, okay? Be real with yourself. What's your boundary? And then if someone crosses that with what they say or what they do or what they insinuate about you, listen, you have to push back. You have to push them out. It's healthy to say, I don't agree with that. If someone says something about you, or you just disagree. And that's good for your energy, because your self-value is, again, your feminine energy, which keeps your energy clear. So it's like, you need to think about this all the time, and don't let people treat you badly. And boundaries are not about fighting with people. They are literally about, like, reaffirming to yourself what you actually know is true. So sometimes people will say things or insinuate like things about you that are negative. You have to make sure that you don't believe them, because negative energy or negative beliefs are negative energies, and they can get in you if you don't say no to them. And that's how blocks get in. They can get in like that. So what I do is I will literally just disagree, or if I know that I don't care what they think truly, and I know what I believe, then I know I don't need to even say anything. But I will make sure that I'm okay. I'll make sure that that didn't invade my beliefs about myself. And it's really important you do that. And by the way, boundaries are about you. And when you assert boundaries, some people think it's like about telling people what to do. You can't control people. You have to basically communicate with I messages, I believe this about myself, me messages, like, this is what's true for me, and that's it. Never ever talk about them, never try to change them or their beliefs or anything. You just basically talk about yourself. You only accept what's good for you, and it's all about you, okay? All right. And the 4th ingredient is your purpose. This is connected to your feminine because it's the spiritual aspect of life, and your purpose is in that. It's not survival, it's purpose. And so when you value your purpose, when you put that first, when you invest in it, when you work at it, when you take it seriously, that will also build your feminine energy. A lot of people think feminine energy is about sleep. Well, that's because resting can bring you back to the present, but that's only one ingredient. If you need to sleep, you should probably sleep because you can't be present if you're tired. You should also be like eating regularly, hydrating, because you can't be present in your body, right? Unless you're comfortable. Stretching, yoga is really good for feminine, meditating, cleaning your space. Like, don't live in clutter. Try hard not to. Be organized. Have a shower every day, like, or baths and stuff like that matters. So, anyway, but feminine and your purpose, like, they're very connected too. Like, if you're doing all these tips I'm telling you, but you're ignoring your purpose every day, like, you're still going to struggle. So you have to really work it all for. These are things you can start doing now. You don't have to wait. You can just start adding little sprinkles in of all these things: presence, pleasure, self-value, and purpose. And by the way, if you don't know your purpose, I have a hack. The hack is what makes you feel the highest energy possible. Because who you are, your true identity, is high energy. All negative energy is clearable. Your true identity, what will never change, is positive energy inside of you. So your purpose is what makes you feel that high frequency, the highest frequency, the most positive. What is the expression in the world of that for you? The career, the city, the types of clothes, the lifestyle, the relationship, the things you eat. That's your purpose. It's not your dream life. It's not what you want. It's not what you hope for. If it truly makes you feel high frequency, that's who you really are. And so sprinkle that into your reality right now. That's the only way to start living as that person. You can start bringing those elements into your life today. Don't do it later. Your future is created by who you are in the present. You need to bring these elements in. Even when I actually bought this tonight and I was like thinking like, oh, I'll come back and get it. Like I just found it. Like, I need to like think about this. And then I was like, yeah, it's not how it works. It's like if I really want it, which I really did. Yeah, it's like today, basically. I'm not saying you can't think about your decisions and your investments, but it's really good for your feminine in general to live in the present, because she is about the present. And when you up your frequency and you connect more to your feminine, don't think that's not going to have payoff. And don't think that, being the person you are, even if that looks like dressing a certain way, or I really wanted this lipstick, I went and got that too. It's like the less you put off things that make you feel like who you really are, the more you become that person, and it changes your future. I actually have an ebook called Your Future is Now, because your future is created through your frequency right now. And you can create a more positive future the more you have positive energy. And your feminine is a big part of that because it protects your energy, helps you make smart decisions, and in general is really good for your whole frequency. So I'm getting tired. I'm going to go, but I hope you enjoyed this. And if you would like to talk to me about how to work with me, how to get more feminine activation, and how to get your energy cleared, which is such a big part of all of this, I have some sessions right now in November called the Soul Laundry Sessions, getting clearer energy, literally like doing laundry for your soul. So click in the description. You can find the link to my free 30-minute consult while they're still available. And I thank you for watching. Stay brat.